2, 3, 4.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Hominids Society podcast. I'm Eric,
I'm Wendy.
and we are your hosts. We're talking to you live from our bedroom as usual. We've been working trying to get some of our audio issues figured out. So those of you who stuck with us, this is kind of becoming like a broken record, but we appreciate it. Maybe we finally got it. Maybe the bedroom recording gods have finally figured it out for us. What do you think?
Hallelujah. Maybe they have.
I hope so. Hopefully this episode sounds a lot better than it has in the past. Been working real hard, so just bear with me. Last week you guys got a bonus episode. I put out an extra episode. I did an interview with Litha. She was explaining some tarot with us and astrology, and appreciate her taking the time to do the recording with us. I got a few more set up. Hopefully they fall through. So just stay tuned, and maybe we can. I'll always try to get some audio, and it accompanies our YouTube page. And that's right, we do have a YouTube page. Please go over there. I'm trying to start putting stuff up. Eventually, I want to try to do some live streams. And so I got big plans, and if things work out, it'll happen. But we can only do that if you guys support us.
Thank you.
With that being said, don't forget to rate and review our podcast on Spotify and all your favorite platforms. 5-star reviews help us get more listeners. We need those. Got to have them. What's going on today, Wendy? How you feeling?
I'm feeling a little stuffy as
Yeah.
usual. It's that time of season, but I feel great.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
We got a big weekend ahead of us. We're going to. I'm taking Wendy to Cherokee to see Travis Tritt.
hell yeah,
She loves Travis Tritt.
I do. Country music is my guilty pleasure.
Have you ever seen him before?
I have not. No,
No.
I've not seen him perform live. So that's another one off the checklist.
Nice. Hey, we're actually going to the Cherokee Reservation up there, and cool little fun fact: I saw that there is a ghost lady supposedly walks down the road up there in Cherokee. So I wonder if we'll catch a glimpse of that.
A bonus event while we're there.
One could only hope. I consider that a two for one. I last week got to go see the Deftones, my favorite band in the world. I'm going to be honest; it was a little emotional because I hadn't seen them in a minute, and I was real happy about that.
Well, I didn't know it was emotional. I mean, I stayed behind because of our little seed
Yeah.
that demands us around and tells us what to do. So I didn't make that one.
Yeah, it was a good time. Got to see my buddy Chris. It's always fun to see him. Yeah, that's what's been going on in our lives. We've just been kind of chilling.
I love Chris.
Chris is good. Chris is good people. Hopefully you're listening, Chris. Shout out, Chris. What else has been going on? What did we do? I feel like we've done something this week. Oh, yesterday we went to Asheville. Got real close to Helen's Bridge, but didn't quite make it. One day we're gonna go over there. Maybe that'd be one of our YouTube videos.
Well, I mentioned that because it was in my map quest from the last time we were there.
And the reason it's in your map class is because the last couple times we went, I kept mentioning it.
I know. That's why I mapped it out.
Like, we need to go. And it's real close to where our son lives. And so hopefully one day we can get by there. We got to go check this
I
out.
feel like maybe we need to go at dark, though.
Yeah, we got to go. We need to have a backup plan.
It's not a daytime event.
The only reason I say we need a backup plan because there's a thing that goes around where people says that sometimes their car won't start.
Oh, hell no. I know that, though, but
yeah, that would suck.
I would have a stroke.
We got to have a backup plan just in case. But yeah,
somebody behind us to push us off the bridge.
Hopefully that'll be one of our live videos. That'd be awesome. Live video from Helen's Bridge. Okay, so today I got another little fun episode for us. The fun never stops over here in the Honological Society. Wendy, how do you feel about Sasquatch?
Um, well, I guess at first maybe I thought, you know, is is this, you know, 8 foot 8 foot 8 for gorilla or hybrid whatever running around the forest of every country. We watch Expedition Bigfoot regularly and reruns, and I I guess I've become more of a believer watching the show. Um, and I guess like the other day, I was telling you, I wonder. I heard Maria talk about how certain chimps or ape or gorilla will use their teeth chatter as signs of like intimidation or whatever. So I guess my question was, is this a gorilla? Is it ape? Is it human hybrid? I mean, what are we dealing with here?
Could be any of those. There's a lot of theories that go around. Nobody ever knows. Nobody's nobody's come together on what they actually think it is. You know, some people say it could be the missing link that we're always looking for in our evolution step, or that leads us down to like the previous like Homo erectus. I think is what came before us. It could be like a missing link like that. It's a relic hominid, and I'll talk about those. Or it could be a relic hominoid, which is another type of like just a great ape in general. Some people think it's an alien. I mean, there's all kinds of theories that run around. I have my theory. What do you think? Where have you landed on all this? What do you think it is?
Um, I mean, this might sound a little freaky. Um, I feel he's part human,
Uh-huh.
mammal. I don't know. And part gorilla, ape, maybe. I,
Well, I mean that makes sense because chimps are like 98% human anyway, so it makes sense that like another like bipedal creature would be the same thing.
well, he walks upright.
Yeah,
Most of the time, a lot of them like knuckle walk.
yeah,
Um, so only humans really stand upright.
yeah.
So there's where I think that it's part human, and then as far as like the facial um features and description, I mean it has to be part ape, gorilla, chimpanzee, something.
Yeah, because you got like the conical head, the big like dome feature on top of the head that they always talk about. When you look at the side view of like a gorilla, you get that same thing. He's got like the point on the top of his head. And Bigfoot has the same thing. But there's reports of like people who like hunters who are out there and they see Bigfoot or Sasquatch in their sights and they're going to shoot it because I guess they want to like be hunters and they want a specimen or they're going to try to prove it. But there's so many times when they say that they can never pull the trigger because it just feels too human. So maybe um, it. I guess when they see it, it gives them like a feeling. Now, I don't consider this a Bigfoot encounter, but I will think this is funny, and I've kind of gone back and thought about this. One night when Dad and I were coming home from the race, it was late at night, and he was driving, and we were coming down this Highway 18, uh, from like Lenore,
Yeah.
and it was dark, there was nobody around, and I was sitting there, and all of a sudden I saw something on the side of the road, and I can't swear and say it stood up and walked away, but it kind of like slinked up the side of the embankment, and I was like, "What was that, Dad?" And he just kind of looked up. He's like, "I don't know," and he went, "Bear." So was it a Bigfoot? I don't know. I'm not gonna say yes. I'm not gonna be like, yes, I had a Bigfoot encounter, but it was interesting, and I'd like to wish that it was because I always want that roadside Bigfoot encounter.
Well, your dad's never going to admit to something like that because that kind of breaks that. Southern Baptist Bible Belt code there.
Well, yeah, and it's hard for anyone who's old school like that to sort of admit when they've seen something weird like that. But yeah, and I like I said, I have a confession. Every time I drive down a dark road, I'm like, step out, please step out.
I'm like, please go away. Please go away.
I want to see him. I want him to run out. And who knows? I mean, there could be around, and we just don't know it. I just read yesterday that somebody, when I was doing research for this, somebody saw one not too far from here, standing on the side of the road, like I said the other day. So they're around.
What area?
Between like going down 70 towards Marion.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Marion is a known Bigfoot hotspot. It's
Bird.
world renowned. Bigfoot and other things. The other things are not so good. But we won't get into that. That's not our deal. We're here to talk about Sasquatch. All right, so I got a couple notes for you here. Let's see what it says. All right. By now, everyone has seen the famous Patterson-Gimlin film. You know, the one with Patty, as she is affectionately named, striding through the woods, arms swinging, and her head was turned as she was watching the two cowboys film her. Robert Patterson and Bob Gimlin, by the way. They were on horseback, and they'd been camping for days looking for her. And because I think Robert Patterson had an experience, and he went back and got Bob Gimlin and said, "Hey, I need you to come with me. I think I saw like a Bigfoot or some type of creature. I don't know if he actually said Bigfoot, but he saw something." And so they went out there, was camping for days looking for her and tracking her. And they were on horseback. And Bob Gimlin says the secret for them coming up on her that they were on horseback. He says, if you want to catch a Bigfoot, go out there on horse.
So she likes horses?
With something about the, he says that he thinks that the scent of the horse helps cover up the scent of humans.
Oh, makes sense.
Because horses are bigger, and so it would have a stronger scent to it. So I guess a Bigfoot would think that maybe it's like there's just a wild
meal,
or just another wild animal out there, instead of like a human being around. But anyway, her glaze was fixed on the two of them, letting them know that she ruled the forest. More on this in a bit, though. Whether you believe in Bigfoot or not, it's undeniable how much this creature has intertwined in our society and culture. And it seems wherever you look, there is some sort of likeness of a Sasquatch. And it's a good time to be a Sasquatch enthusiast, sorry, because there is an infinite amount of memorabilia and documentaries, and honestly, I'm all for it. By the way, if you hear like me or Wendy like coughing or clearing our throat, and I apologize, but pollen is really bad in North Carolina right now, and so we are struggling with allergies and stuff like that. So please forgive us. I saw, side note, I saw a video of somebody was like washing the concrete off yesterday.
And it was yellow.
It was yellow from all the pollen. Insane. Now, Bigfoot leaves all kinds of evidence. We know this, most notably the footprints. So Patty was no different. She left footprints behind. The footprints left by Patty were between 14 and 18 inches long and around 6 to 8 inches wide, but her imprint has lasted the test of time. By the way, another side note, it said that Patty was actually only about 6 to 6.5 feet tall.
Okay, she looked much taller in the video.
Yeah, a lot of people, they say Bigfoot are 7, 8, 9 feet, 10 feet tall. But Patty was only supposed to be around 6.5 feet tall. Which when you find out that she's actually a female, makes me think that the females are much smaller. So I think that's kind of interesting. Maybe it's the males that only get that tall. I also think there's a little bit of exaggeration there too.
I think everybody's story has a little bit of exaggeration.
Well, yeah, of course. It's like it's like when you catch that fish that nobody
got
saw.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was as big as my arm. Every time you tell the story, it gets a little bigger.
It would have fed us for a month.
I'm not gonna say that like Bigfoot can't reach 7, 8 feet tall, because I think there really are 7, 8 feet tall creatures. But when people started saying that they're 10, 12 feet tall, that's when I'm kind of like, are they? Are they? I mean, humans don't even get that tall. I mean, Gigantopithecus, I don't know. He got too much bigger than that, so that would be pretty. That's a pretty big animal,
Intimidating animal.
I think just in general, it's intimidating. Anytime you come across a gorilla type creature, that's
10
scary.
feet tall.
Yeah. Like I said before, it seems everyone has seen Patty's film. And it's by far the most famous Bigfoot of all time until science proves it a true creature. Only then will that creature rival the infamous nature of Patty, but I still feel she is the queen. Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum, who is the world's leading expert of Bigfoot and a professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State University, is leading the PGF Patterson Gimlin film used to teach his film to teach anatomy at Idaho State University. It shows particular muscles that are hard to fake in a costume, as well as the metatarsal breaks in the feet. Now, if you don't know, metatarsal is how your feet bends when you put your foot into the dirt or ground. Something that's fake is going to appear flat and just stamp down, whereas a living creature is going to have these metatarsal breaks. The foot will actually bend in half.
Intentions.
Well, yeah, it isn't inches, but it allows you to bend at your toes, and it allows your body. What the way he describes it is, it allows your body to support that much weight walking bipedally. Without the metatarsal breaks, I don't think we could actually stand up and walk. It just would be impossible. Dr. Meldrum has analyzed more prints than anyone in the world, and he has the collection to prove it. In the video, you can clearly see defined muscles in the neck, shoulders, as well as the glutes and leg muscles. And we get a clear look at how her feet move as she walks, and I'm sure you've noticed I keep calling her a she. Well, in the video, her voluptuous breasts are on display clearly, all of which is hard to define in a suit, especially in 1967. Dr. Meldrum also likes to point to the 1970 movie Planet of the Apes. He says that the apes in the movie appear shirtless, but their costume doesn't show the detail and merely seem brown and bloated. And this is considered the cutting edge of technology at the time. So even Hollywood couldn't recreate a costume that would rival Patty.
I was going to say, how do they know it was a she? But I don't know that I've ever looked at the breast, so I may have to look at that again.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
But when you look at it, you can clearly see that she has like breasts on there. They are swinging when she walks and turns to the side. You can clearly see that they are right there.
So
hanging
it's
down.
kind of like her Bo Derek bolero moment,
Oh yeah,
except for she's in a empty creek bed walking across the sandbar.
yes. Here, I'm going to show you the film. I'll bring it up. Now, look here. This is the remastered version of it. Good Lord. What I showed Gabe yesterday for
April Fools.
Fools. I told him I got the film done behind the house. Now look, right there.
Okay, I see them.
You
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah.
Now, so speaking of suit, here's the interesting North Carolina connection. I don't know if anyone knows. The guy who claims that he made the fake suit for the Bob Dylan and Robert Patterson film come from Greensboro, North Carolina. And his name is Philip Morris. And the only reason I remember that is because Philip Morris also is the name of the guy who makes Philip Morris cigarettes. I don't know if they're related or not. I have never seen that connection, but every time I hear that name, it always helps me remember Philip Morris. But so he claims that two cowboys came and asked him to create a suit for a film they were making, and a guy who come forward named Bob Hieronymus is the guy who claims to be in the suit. Now, if you see the way Bob walks, Bob has a strange, unique walk that I guess could be considered a patty walk. I don't know if it's something that he's like created as he's gone about his day, but he does have that sort of like punch down, sort of like arm swinging walk. And the thing is, Bob lived across the street from either Robert Patterson or Bob Dylan. I can't remember which one it was. And I heard that they knew each other, but supposedly it's possible there could have been some sort of rivalry. Bob Hieronymus got upset about all the attention that Gillen was getting because of the film or what it was. But so him and Philip Morris got together, and they decided that they would recreate the film to prove that it was a fake. And so Philip Morris brings one of his suits out, puts Bob in it, and there's pictures. You can go look at these pictures all day long. There's pictures of him wearing a suit. He's got like makeup under his eyes and stuff. But when he does the walk, it doesn't look the same. You just don't get the same definition, the muscle, anything like that. And so, to me, I don't think it fits. There's no way. And really, in fact, most of the Planet of the Apes costumes they used in the film, they were just a mask and maybe some like gloves or something like that, and they wore like a clothes to cover their body because it was so hard to do the whole suit. Take a look at Star Wars, 1970. I'm going to get blasted by Star Wars fans. 77, something like that. Chewbacca. There's no definition on Chewbacca. He literally just looks like a giant rug. You know, you
Sure does.
don't have to agree with me. Chewbacca's the man.
No, he looks like a giant rug.
Yeah, Chewie. Chewie. He has no definition. There's no muscle, nothing like that, and that's up there. Now, I say that, but George Lucas didn't have much of a budget for that. Hold on here. I'm trying to find a picture of Bob here. Here's a picture of Bob. I just want to show you this. Come on, get the. There's Patty. Here's Bob. See how he walks.
Yeah.
He claims that that's him in the suit.
So, did they have it with him in the costume?
I'm trying to look here. Yep, here it is. So this is the suit. What they say.
Oh yeah.
And that's Patty. There's Bob in that suit.
Oh yeah. There's nothing alike.
It doesn't even look the same.
No.
It's not even the same color. This is Philip Morris right here.
That looks more
Look
like
at
an
that right there.
orangutan.
It doesn't even look like orangutan. You can't even see any of the. There's no definition there. Look.
Yeah.
It doesn't even match. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Rival neighbor bullshit.
I'm telling you right now. You can say what you want. I'm not trying to convince you, but I'm telling you, this does not match. It's not the same thing. I think it's somebody just wanting to get in on the Bigfoot money. They saw an opportunity to get famous, and they went with it.
And we're talking about him, so hey, it worked.
Yeah, he's around. He definitely got notoriety, and I'm sure there are people that's going to jump on board and say, "Yeah, he created the suit." I just don't see it. And if you have a professor of anatomy and anthropology that's saying that the PGF film has to be real, you kind of have to sort of take note of that. I mean, he's even basing his whole career on it. He's made a name for himself, like teaching us that this is true. We need to discover this animal, and he's proven evidence time and time again. I love Dr. Melvin. So, the word Sasquatch comes from Western Canada. I always heard it came from Saskatchewan, which is where the origination came from. Where it originated? Yeah, I can't speak. Yeah, I always heard it came from Saskatchewan, which makes sense. Sasquatch, Saskatchewan. But the word comes from Western Canada, and the word is Sasket. Sasket. Oh, really secret.
Which means?
It means wild hairy man.
Okay, all right.
But where does the term Bigfoot come from? Well, in 1958, a crew of loggers in Northern California, near Bluff Creek, which is where they filmed the Patty film, began experiencing vandalism to their equipment and work sites. It wasn't long before they began finding strange large footprints, and the story spread to the media as a Sunday fun piece published in the Humboldt Times on October 5th. The story was so popular that follow-up stories referred to the nickname given by the loggers, and the name stuck, Bigfoot. Much like PGF, the story originated from Bluff Creek, Northern California, which I just said, but Bigfoot is a worldwide phenomenon. We have the Yeti in the Himalayas, Yowie in Australia, Ibagan in Japan. Many other countries have their own version of a Bigfoot-type creature. But what exactly is a Bigfoot? Now, I want to point out, almost all continents have, I think every single continent has a Bigfoot story. And the only one that does it is like Hawaii, and those islands are off to themselves where a Bigfoot could walk, no land bridge. Another theory is that, a long time ago, when all the continents were connected, perhaps it could have been like an animal that was left behind once they started shifting, which has been around for that long. Because Bigfoot has been around forever.
For as long as I can remember. I mean, there's always been a tale, as far as I know.
I mean, the natives tells like back early prehistoric days of like Bigfoot. We'll get there.
Rogue Bigfoot.
A lot of them. Many theories about what truly a Bigfoot is float through the Sasquatch community. Much like the UFO community, no one can come up with a definitive answer, and at this point, all theories are on the table. Speaking of UFOs, the first theory is that Biggie is actually a furry alien, perhaps inspired by Chewie from Star Wars. There are a few stories of Bigfoots and UFOs spotted in the same area. Just pick up a few of the High Strangeness books, and it probably wouldn't take you long to find this correlation. Even the natives have associated some lights in the forest with a Bigfoot sighting. People have seen tiny lights and orbs following Bigfoot through the forest and circling around their head. And a perfect example of this is from the TV show Expedition Bigfoot, where Dr. Mayer captured thermal image of a Bigfoot figure that had orbs above its head. The odd thing was that this wasn't the orbs, but when she would shine a light across the river, she couldn't see the figure, but only when she raised her thermal was it visible. But it's my opinion that the alien Bigfoot theory is merely life imitating art. I kind of don't believe that. I'm not opposed to it, but I sort of don't feel that that's the truth. Like I said, I think it's one of those situations where life imitates art, a la Star Wars, Chewbacca, and it makes sense. Kind of like you'd make the association of Ouija boards with The Exorcist and everything
Right.
like that.
Right.
So I kind of feel like it's one of those situations again. I kind of, I for myself, and I can't speak for everyone, but I kind of tend to be a purist when it comes to this sort of things. Like I want it to be a like a blood and guts creature. Um, some people think it's a portal walker. They can switch between dimensions and such. I would like to think that would be true because that'd be cool, but I don't know. I kind of like I kind of like the fact that it's just a woodland creature walking around.
Well, not to bring up Expedition Bigfoot again,
We love
but
this show.
in the latest season, Russell heard like two animals fighting,
Mhm.
and that's what led them to discover, because he followed the blood trail,
Yep.
to find the tree structure and
Yep.
all of that. So, I mean, I feel like they are, I mean, steps away from walking up on this creature. Um, and I mean, I can't wait to watch and see. So,
I cannot wait for science. There's one of the scientists to come up with like a actual DNA evidence or a body or something. Like they find some like definitive proof, so I can be like, I told you, it's real. I can't wait. Na, suck it. I'm going to be the biggest like proponent of like I've been on board the whole time. Everyone who's wrong.
suck it.
Exactly. Suck it. That's kind of loud. Yeah. So on the other side of the spectrum of the squatchiness, there is the relic hominids theory, and you're probably asking yourself, what the fuck is that? Well, so the difference is that hominids include all current and extinct humans like great apes and their immediate ancestors, where hominins encompass modern humans in the Hominidae family, which is the family subgenus of the Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and includes Gigantopithecus, which is a popular theoretical cousin of Sasquatch. The Gigantopithecus is a large ape from China that went extinct around 200 to 300,000 years ago, and it's basically a giant orangutan standing about 9 to 12 feet tall and weighing upwards of 600 pounds. And it's said that Sasquatch can stand this tall as well, so it's easy to correlate the two together. Some people even think that Gigantopithecus could have lived in the Sasquatch that we see is one of those creatures. That's one of the theories of what Sasquatch actually is. I'm not exactly on board that it's exactly a Gigantopithecus, but I think that it could be definitely a genetic link to why we have Bigfoot today. And I believe there are skeletons of the Gigantopithecus at the I believe it's the Smithsonian that has some. You can go and see them, and they stand tall. It's amazing. I can't imagine seeing a 9 to 12 foot tall orangutan.
Oh no.
That would just be wild. Orangutans themselves are pretty interesting. Anyway, I saw a video of this guy was going down the river in like Borneo, and there was an orangutan on the riverbank next to where they were floating by, and so it was like pointing at the people in the boat and was doing something, and I think it realized that they had food, and so he started taking its hand
Oh
and
no.
put it like he went like this, put its hand to its mouth, and it was doing the sign language like uh the sign language
For
uh
eat.
yeah for eat, which I think is amazing. Like how smart is that animal to do that?
Yeah.
That's a smart fucking animal. Now imagine if it was 12 feet tall. Good lord, we really would be Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I would have paddled real hard.
Paddle faster. I hear banjo music. Um, I know. after hearing how big a Sasquatch can be, it's easy to ask, well, how can an 8 to 10 foot ape disappear and not be found in the woods? I know a lot of people like to ask that question. Like, where's this spot? Where'd they go? Well, my first theory is that because Sasquatch is so close to humans that I kind of feel like they're burying their dead, or they're taking them into caves or hiding them somewhere that humans don't go. I think they're smart enough to actually bury their
Well, they're smart,
dead.
or they would not have eluded, detection for this long, and have means of survival.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I really believe that they bury their dead. So, man, just imagine one day when we come across a Sasquatch, like when we realize how they're burying them, we find like a whole like mound of like Sasquatch bones.
a whole graveyard of like a family,
Wow. Yeah. I hate to say it, but those would be what ends up in the museum.
as they should.
Think it should?
Yeah, why not? I
Maybe a
mean,
couple. Well, I'd rather them do that than kill the animal. That's for
oh
sure.
no, I meant the bones from the graveyard, not the actual
Yeah.
live ones.
They definitely need specimens. Yeah. It'd be amazing to go see one. I want to see a Bigfoot. Oh God. Anyway, I just want to remind you that anyone that studies gorillas will tell you, um, they will only be seen when they want to be seen. A fucking gorilla. You can. Maria herself, Dr. Mayer says, when you're out in the forest with them, they could be right next to you, and you won't know they're there until they want you. They want you to know they're there. That's crazy. um, I think we all, apes and humans, have the ability to hide in plain sight. It's a genetic advantage over the other animals. Some people theorize that Bigfoot can cloak, but I've got a new theory. Which again, I'm not opposed to the cloaking theory. I don't know because we've never seen this animal for real. We don't have evidence of it, but I kind of don't believe he cloaks. I think he's more he's a master of the woods. That's what I think. Recently, I've been hearing about a spider walking Bigfoot, which is a creepy image if you use your imagination. But I think the answer is much more simple. I think a biggie can army crawl like the way humans can on its belly. Um, they just happen to stand taller, so it probably does appear more spider-like, kicking its leg out to the side. It's longer than human arms, stretched out and bent. Which, by the way, their arms like come down to their knees, like an ape does.
Right.
But that's a more like an ape trait. Longer longer limbs helps them climb and move around the forest. Um, where was that? A close friend of mine said that he saw a Bigfoot army crawl behind a deer, hunting, and then ambush the deer for food. And as for cloaking, well, I also have a theory. Because the recent story I heard was that a witness saw a Sasquatch dive into a trench or onto the forest floor and cover itself with leaves and limbs, seemingly disappearing in plain sight. So it's possible these things are laying down and just covering themselves up,
And you're walking right past
and you
them.
walk right, and you'll never know it's there. I mean, think about a person in a ghillie suit. If a person in a ghillie suit lays down, you don't know that they're there, and you just walk right past it. Which to me, also, I was thinking about this when I wrote this. That could also explain why Sasquatch has such like a strong smell or odor. Because if they're covered in fur or hair, they get down on the forest floor where there's like underneath the leaves, where they start to like decay
Right.
and rot, and go out there and rake up leaves that's been on the forest floor and start smelling around. You're gonna smell this like rot and decay, which everybody wants that underneath because that's nutrients and stuff. But a Bigfoot gets in there and lays in that and covers themselves up with those leaves. They're gonna pick up that smell. So I think that's why they smell so bad, or people talk about smelling like skunk when they're around.
Musky. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
musky smell. Now the musky smell could also be their pheromones that they're releasing out
Yeah.
because
That's what I think.
um how else are they going to attract like a mate, especially when they're out in the woods? You have to be able to like put your smell out there for something to
If they don't have, Squatch deodorant
find.
or, you know, stuff like that.
Which is a thing. I saw it yesterday when I went shopping with Gabe.
I know. I tried to show you
I
last
know
time.
they have bars of soap. They got like body wash, everything. Sasquatch is in everything. It doesn't matter what you buy. You could literally buy a Sasquatch anything. It's like I need a Sasquatch toe ring. I got you. You know, uh,
Etsy,
yeah,
Timu.
anything. uh, empty words, empty words. Uh, I believe the creatures are elusive because they are masters of the forest and their environment, and they're hiding in plain sight. and I'm reminded by the end of Harry and the Hendersons, where John Lithgow and the family are watching Harry go back to the forest when a group of Sasquatches step out behind the trees and bushes that were there the whole time. That's my favorite part. It's like when they take Harry back to the forest and he walks away, and then like 7 more Sasquatch walk out, including like a baby. They were standing there the whole fucking time behind trees.
I've never watched Harry and the Hendersons.
Get the fuck out of here. What are you saying?
No, I've never watched it.
You heard it here, folks. Wendy's about to watch Harry and the Hendersons. Well, I guess you won't know this, but here's a fun fact for you. The same person who played Harry and Hendersons also played Predator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His name is like Kevin, I think it's Kevin Peter Hall. He was like 7 foot tall, and unfortunately he passed away from HIV and AIDS in the 90s. Um, but he played some pretty significant roles. But man, how badass is that? Harry was also the Predator.
Fucking.
Oh, son of a bitch! You're right, and it's an alien. Oh my god, you're right. But no matter if you're a blood guts guy or a Bigfoot, Bigfoot is a portal jumper and possibly flying UFOs. It's not hard to see that this creature has intertwined into our culture and society, and its image is everywhere. For me, it's impossible to think of Bigfoot without mentioning or thinking about the Native Americans. The relationship between natives and Bigfoot is a tale as old as time, and each tribe has a similar tale about Squatch, but in a very native way. And they have tweaked their story to how they perceive the Bigfoot. When when I think of Bigfoot and the natives together, it brings me a feeling of peace and love because that's how the natives want us to feel about this creature. When they speak about them, they oftentimes refer to them as the other tribe or the people from before, but they all seem to have one message. Bigfoot represents the nature element of the forest. He's the protector of the woods, and when people feel that they aren't wanted, to me that says that they aren't respecting nature and they aren't respecting nature in the forest, and its protector is going to continue to do its job. All of the cryptids we spoke about are unique, and there are some weird ones, but the cryptids in the forefront that are most spoken about truly always bring us a message. Bigfoot protects the forest. Loch Ness is protecting our water. Mothman is protecting the sky and bringing prophecies, and so forth. But until we have a definitive proof, those of us that believe must keep searching and asking questions. Never give up the pursuit of truth. And for myself, I take comfort knowing he's out there waiting, watching, and protecting our forest. So, one thing we didn't mention was that perhaps Bigfoot could do what's called infrasound. Now, if you don't know, infrasound is like what animals like lions and tigers things use. It's a sound wave that they can emit that's lower than our sense of hearing. So we don't actually hear the noise, but we feel it, and it comes out like a vibration. And so when you hear lions roar, you feel that in your body. You're feeling the infrasound, even if you're not seeing it. It can actually cause like stress in your body, anxiety. Some people even say that it can cause them to like release their bowels or their bladder. Um,
Wow.
so it's not that they got so scared that they urinated on themselves. It's that the infrasound was so like deep that it actually caused their body to release. It can send you into like paralysis, cause you to stand still. So, when you go out to the woods and people say they feel a certain way when they think Bigfoot's around, maybe Bigfoot is like producing some sort of infrasound. He's a big creature, and I see no reason to think why he couldn't produce like a bassy, low sound that you could feel
Right.
without seeing. So, what do you think about all that? What's your thoughts?
Um, I think it's all interesting. I think knowledge is power. Um, the more you let yourself or let things, ponder things, and you know anything is possible, I guess. And I was going to ask, what do you think Bigfoot is?
Well, like I said before, like I'm kind of like a blood and guts guy. Um, I think he's. I really like to think that he's sort of like a closer link between us and gorillas or us and chimps. He could be like a missing link type person. Um, but I feel like Bigfoot is most definitely a woodland type creature. I don't buy into the alien theory or portal jumper theory. The Newkirks actually think that Bigfoot is a ghost of a
Right.
previous creature,
Yeah.
and that's why he's not around. which I get it. I'm not opposed to it, but that's just not what I feel.
Well, there was the wildlings,
Mhm.
which was the humans who grew up in the forest, and they had their own language.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of language, if you've never heard it, go listen to the Sierra Sounds, the Sierra Nevada Sounds. I played that for you not too long ago. Remember we were laying in
Hmm.
bed.
Yeah.
Now they um, it's Ron Moorfield, who's one of the people who was out camping. He had a group of people. They would go out to the Sierra Nevada mountains and camp, and they had like this hollowed out tree that they would go inside, and they would take a log and put in front of the tree. That would like close the door, and they started noticing that they would were hearing all these like strange noises in the woods, and their camp would be like disheveled or something like that. And at one point, this is weird. They started hearing what they thought sounded like car doors slam. And Ron says that they were way out in the forest. There's no way that they could be around a road or anything like that. But they would hear these weird noises like car doors slam. And then they started realizing that there were other creatures around them, and they would hear them at night. And so one time they went and they decided they were going to record them, and they got what's called the Sierra Sounds, and it's probably about 8 to 10 minutes of like them, recording these creatures, and you hear teeth chatter, wood knocks, and at some point you hear what's called the samurai language, and it's almost
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's crazy because you hear it going "Who you do that? Who do that?" like that. But they had like expert like vocal analysts and stuff analyze this, and they claim that like just by listening to the sound, it's outside of the range of human voice. And even though it sounds like a human's kind of making the noise, that they believe that the sound waves that it's producing are unable for a human to make. So
Interesting.
go listen to that because that's some good evidence for you to check out. And there's tons of like casted footprints and stuff out there. Bigfoot leaves evidence. Like he's around. We just got to find. We just got to get. We just got to get some blood. We got to get some. We got to get a body. Unfortunately.
Well, you have to think. Let's say we were big, big, big feet,
Yeah. Watch it.
and you had maybe got past my visual range, but I needed to contact you. No cell phone. So
Yeah.
what am I going to do but like make a loud sound to get your attention?
Yeah.
So, maybe it's like the wood knocks are like, "Hey, come back," or they're
It,
waiting. Like that's their cell phone.
they're so big. Like if you take like two pieces of wood and slam them together, I mean, I could see it sounded like hardware slamming. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
most definitely.
it's a lot. It's a lot of force. They probably like slam together there. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a blood and guts guy. I kind of want Bigfoot to be the real deal. And just because I want it to be real doesn't mean that that's what it is. I kind of feel the same way about UFOs. We'll talk about that when we get into UFOs. But um, I want UFOs to be nuts and bolts. Although I don't believe that they all are nuts and bolts. They're a little different. They're a little different situation. But I don't think Bigfoot has anything to do with aliens.
Yeah, I don't either, but
But as usual, I'm open to everything. So one day we'll find out. One day we'll figure it out. You got anything else?
I think it's it. I think it's it.
All right. Uh, we got a Facebook page, Ontological Society. Come join us over there. It's our only really social media right now, but it's a start. We'll get to the other places once we get more going. I have an email, ontologicalsocietypodcast@gmail.com. Send us your stories. We need more stories. Um, check out our YouTube, the Ontological Society. I got a few videos up now and add more by the day. So come join us over there. Don't forget to rate and review us. It helps us get more listeners. We need those listeners.
We may have a library.
What?
We may have a have a library of videos before long.
I know it. I know it. We're getting there. And hopefully we can start doing some like live streams. We can go to cool places and live stream.
Right.
So stay tuned for that. It's all coming. Like I said, rate and review us. We need those. We need those 5-star reviews. Helps us get more listeners. And everybody who's stuck with us, I can see that all the people that come back. Like I can't see you specifically, but I can see the numbers are the same. And everybody who keeps coming back, I appreciate it. Keep,
Thank you.
keep coming back because we're gonna keep doing it. Um, All right, for that, I'm Eric.
I'm Wendy.
We're out.